As predicted, Garmin today launched the Fenix 7 Pro and also the Epix Pro watches. Today's May 30th, 2023, which is exactly the date that we all thought they'd be launched, and they were. I'm going to run through the features now for the Epix Pro in this video, and I'll do a separate video for the Fenix 7 Pro as well, just to capture the main features and headlines of what's happened today. When Garmin stick a Pro on the end of a product, it generally means it's like a mid-cycle update. So this is not a totally new watch that's come out today. It's kind of a tweak and an upgrade on the hardware that was already there. Probably the biggest change in everything is the fact that the Epix is now available in 3 different sizes: a 42mm case, a 47mm case, and a 51mm case, which kind of mirrors the 3 different sizes of the Fenix range that they've had for some time. The flashlight that until now has only been available on the Fenix 7X that people thought was a gimmick and is actually the most critical feature I think I've ever had in a watch is now rolled out to all 3 versions of the Epix. Multi-band GPS GNSS has now been rolled out to all of the Epix Pro watches, not just some of the higher end ranges from before. Memory storage is now 32GB across all of the Pro range. Now, I don't really use maps, and I don't really use music on my Fenix, so I don't really care whether it's 16 gig or 32 gig. But if you use maps, or if you use music, then this is going to be pretty important to you. There is a new generation heart rate sensor. I think it's called Gen 5, but in any case, it's an upgrade. Now, when you're talking about optical heart rate sensors on watches, there's no question an optical heart rate sensor is always going to be compromised compared to a chest strap that you would wear that would give you much more accurate heart rate readings and probably quicker reactions too. I'm a typical age group athlete, triathlete. I actually take the slight compromise of performance of an optical heart rate sensor over a chest strap just for convenience. There's additional hardware here that gives you ECG potential benefit in the future, but there's no reference to it of this being a current feature in the watch. But they've obviously put the hardware in there, anticipating there'll be some future updates at some point that will make use of that feature. Battery life has been improved, and particularly on the 51mm, there's a significant improvement because the battery is actually bigger because it's a bigger case. So if you look at the Epix range compared to the Fenix, probably one of the biggest downsides of the Epix over the Fenix in my mind is the fact that the battery life is nowhere near the insane battery life of the Fenix. But it does get a step closer now with this larger battery in the 51mm version of the Epix. Endurance score has been added. Now, we did talk about this quite a bit in the rumor video we did a few days ago. This is really looking beyond VO2 max at what your total training load does to your overall performance and how you perform compared to your training plan for the future. Now, this is a useful feature, perhaps, maybe, but in any case, it is going to get rolled out to the existing ranges of the Fenix watches. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on my Fenix at some point in the future. So as a benefit for the Pro, doesn't really make a difference. And the same goes also for the hill score, which is tracking your ability to run up hills and how you see your performance improve as you run more hills faster or more efficiently. Great feature, but it's also going to roll out to the existing range of the Fenix and Epix watches, so not really a benefit for getting the Pro. Now, Garmin have added a lot more sports, like a ton. I'm not going to list them all here. They're crucially missing an important one for me, but I'll talk about that in the Fenix video. But if you play lacrosse, you play cricket, then you now have a sports mode in your Epix watch for those sports, amongst a whole ton of others. This is not something Garmin has typically done. What Garmin has typically done is they've taken sports where they know they can track measurable data to that sport, and then they've applied that to one of their profiles in their different sport options. It looks here like what they're more doing is they're adding a bunch of sports so that when you upload to Strava or Garmin Connect or your app of choice, you don't have to go in and manually correct and change from whatever sport Garmin recorded to the one you're actually doing. Finally, they've dropped that Gen 2 moniker to the Epix name, which was always irritating because the Gen 1 was so long ago and was such a different watch. Anyone who saw Gen 2 didn't really understand what it was all about. So now it's just the Epix Pro. Gen 2 has been dropped. For the base size, it looks like the pricing is in line with where it was for the previous version of the Epix. That would be the Epix Gen 2. But because you've now added dual band GPS GNSS and that extra memory up to 32 gig, you're actually getting more features for the same money. Now, there's a few other features in here, but broadly, those are the headlines. So this is definitely a mid-cycle refresh and update. I think there's some really good ones here. The battery life improvement is definitely one to be appreciated, as is the size improvements too. I picked the Fenix over the Epix for 2 reasons. One was the much better battery life of the Fenix, and 2 was frankly, the rugged good looks of the Fenix compared to the Epix. The Epix always looked a bit more Starbucks, a bit less Iron Man. And whether that's right or wrong, that's just how I feel. This eliminates or potentially reduces to a point where it's less important the battery life one. So really now it comes down to, do I want a watch that I feel good going into Starbucks, or do I want a watch that feels good doing an Ironman race. I think we're going to start to see more of a convergence than we've had before between the Epix range and the Fenix range, because the Fenix, at the end of the day, like it or not, in most use cases, that MIPS display on the Fenix is really there to give the insane battery life. There aren't really that many features to having that compared to the AMOLED display here on the Epix. So I'm still waiting for a Fenix 8, but I suspect there might not be a Fenix 8. Maybe they'll start to combine the ranges into one watch, one product, even come the time of the next product release. Let's see what happens. Anyway, I hope this is useful. Please do like and subscribe if it was. That like, I now know, having my own channel, it makes a real difference to how many people get to see this video. So a like would be really appreciated, and a subscribe too. Thanks for watching.